guys, how you doing? This is Mike from songwritingresources.com. Today I'm going to talk about the songwriting of Coldplay, particularly the writing style of Chris Martin, the lead singer. And we're going to take a look at 3 different techniques, just like we did in the Tom Petty video. Please check that out if you haven't. We're going to look at today melody cycles, which involves the construction of a verse melody or a chorus melody. We're also going to take a look at a technique called somnambulant writing, which taps into the sort of the dreamlike lyrics that Coldplay or maybe even like a Radiohead or something like that writes. And then finally we're going to take a look at some alternate guitar tunings so that you can create some of those ethereal Coldplay type chord progressions on guitar. So here we go. Okay, so first up, I hope you guys don't mind, I have my trusty sidekick here today. This is Lulu, she's a sweetheart. But today we're going to start out with melody cycles. So what's a melody cycle? A melody cycle is a construction for a verse or a chorus where generally in a Coldplay song, it's not always the case, but there will be 4 lines. The first 3 lines will match with each other with the same underlying chord progression, and then the 4th line will create a payoff line that sort of wraps up the cycle, and then you can go to another one and do another verse, or you can go into a chorus which could have its own melody cycle. Let me show you a few examples so you know what I'm talking about, and then maybe you can try these out in your own writing. Okay, so our first example is going to be from the song Fix You. It sounds like this. When you try your best but you don't succeed, you get what you want, but not what you need. When you feel so tired, but you can't sleep. Stuck in river. And that last line completes the cycle. It's a really structurally sound way to create a melody, and it has a number of different benefits. Number 1, it's very organized sounding, so it's pleasant to listen to. Number 2, it's very easy to remember for the listener, so the songs are a lot catchier, they're a lot more sort of poppy, and you'll have an easier time getting people to sing along to your songs. And then finally, it's really nice because it sets up a really great opportunity to have this payoff line in the last place of that section that really pops out. A lot of times a hook could be placed there, or a really poignant lyric. For another 4-line example, please check out my blog at www.songwritingresources.com, where I analyze a more recent version in Hymn for the Weekend. I'm not going to do that in this video, but please check out the blog for a nice detailed review of that song. Now we're going to take a look at a melody cycle that happens in a chorus. So this one comes from Coldplay's breakout hit, Yellow. And the only difference here is the payoff line sort of echoes the 3rd line of the chorus rather than being its own separate thing. But the lyric, "You know I love you so," will really stand out because it's sort of emphasized in that 4th position in the payoff spot. So the chorus in Yellow goes, your skin. Okay, so let's look at another melody cycle. This time, this comes from the song Paradise, and this is a really cool variation on the cycle because it has a cycle built within a melody cycle. So how does that work? So we get 2 opening lines, the setup lines, and instead of 3. And in the place of the payoff line, what happens is there's a preview of what eventually becomes the chorus, the hook. And that little preview as a payoff has a 4-part structure in and of itself. It has 3 repeating lines and then its own payoff line. But it's a really sophisticated structure and it sounds really cool. So let me play that for you. So it goes... sunrise. Hi, Wooey. Gooey, you're so nice. So our next example is going to be Sky Full of Stars. This is a more contemporary hit, and it's a little bit of a different variation. This is an AABBA kind of a melody cycle. So there's different ways to organize these things. Basically what you get is two matching lines. So it'll be, 'cause you're a sky full of stars, I'm going to give you my heart. And that rhymes with the next line and matches the next line. Then we get two B section lines. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. And then finally the payoff line is just a rehashing of the initial A melody. Because in a sky full of stars, I think I saw you. But there's a cool payoff line at the end of it, a little tagline that's really spotlighted. And even though that I think I saw you is not the hook, it's kind of like a secondary hook. It's a really strong pop song because it's got a main hook, because you're a sky full of stars, but it also has a secondary hook too. So it's really, really catchy, really easy to sing along to. So the piano part's actually a little tricky here, so let me get it going. Take a little delay effect. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so melody cycles are a really great way to approach lyric writing and melody construction in a very musical way. If you're pretty adept musically, melody cycles are a really great way to approach lyric writing if you struggle with the lyrics but you're good at music. They're also really great for co-writing, because you can get together with a group of friends and come up with a cool melody cycle structure. You can hum out the melody, or you can use dummy lines, so lines that are not particularly good, they're throwaway lines, but they sort of are a placeholder until you can come up with a better lyric. And you can really take your time with these melody cycles in terms of like filling in the lyrics, that you don't have to come up with all of them right away. Okay, so what's an exercise that you could do with melody cycles? What I would suggest is using the most basic of the melody cycles. So what you do is you create either 2 or 3 opening lines, and so you'll write the same melody, you repeat it 3 times, and the words will change on each line, and then have that sort of cyclical 4th line that sort of wraps everything up and cycles you back to the top. And hopefully composing music and writing songs in this style will help you to create some really catchy, memorable songs in a Coldplay kind of vein. So best of luck with that. Guys, thanks so much for checking out this video on how to write a song like Coldplay. I hope these tips are helpful to you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe the video. Let me know if you have any comments. You can put those down in the comments below. Let me know if there are any artists you want me to analyze. I hope that you're getting some cool material to work with in your own songwriting, and I wish you the best of luck in your writing. Also, please feel free to check out my website, www.songwritingresources.com, for additional content, including some really cool blog posts and some other tips. And I also have a free songwriting course there that you can try out. All you have to do is subscribe to the site, and you get a 16-page manual on how to write a song. So go ahead and check that out when you get a second. It's been a pleasure for me to work on this, and stay tuned for the next video series. Take care. Bye.